Hello, everyone. Well, this is a new idea, something I thought I'd try. I am in my home, my little studio here. I actually set this up to be used for video streaming with my professors at The Ohio State University. I hope you've been able to check out my description of this, of my live can and what I'm going to be doing here. I want to enforce that I am not, I have hold no degrees in sociology or psychiatry or anything actually. I am a student at The Ohio State University. So let me introduce myself like that. I'm 59 years old. I had a job for most of my life. I did go to college when I was much younger. I was in the military. Uh, had a career with a huge insurance company here in Columbus, Ohio, for a very long time. I lost my job back in 2020 during COVID, and since then, I've been trying to figure out what I wanted to do with the rest of my life. And recently, this year, I went to the Ohio State University spring commencement, and it was while I was there that I was there for a friend. And it was there while I was there that it hit me that, of all the time that I had put into uh, going to college before many, many years ago when I was in my 20s, uh, that I never got to experience that incredible moment of getting my degree, that at 59 years old, it felt like something that I had been missing out on. And it hit me pretty hard. And, well, hard is not the right word, I would guess, but it really made a profound impact on me. My life is, since I lost my job, has been, well, you don't know, but it has been challenging. And I've made a lot of changes, and my life is very different now than what it was before. And we'll be going into all that, a lot of that, hopefully in upcoming episodes. Uh, but today, this is pretty much to give you an introduction to who I am. Um, but it was going back to, and by the way, I have ADHD. So if I trail off or I tend to talk too much about one subject, there's my excuse. I'm always going to blame my ADHD. But and you may see me go blank. If I can't think or if I lose a thought, it's going to happen. So, uh, but going back to wanting to get my degree, it was probably within a week after I went to that commencement that I made my decision that I was going to check into going back to school. And I had went to Ohio State University back in 1988. It was right after I got out of my active military service, and I decided that I was going to go to Ohio State. And I got accepted, and I went, but for only one semester. Kind of had a traumatic experience in my personal life while I was there. I only took 3 courses. It was at the Newark branch here in Ohio. And this traumatic experience, which I'll probably go into on another episode, but it made me stop. Kind of had to uh, readjust with something that happened back then. But and then I just started working. So that's why that never happened. But I did make up my mind that I wanted to go back to college, and so I got in touch with the veterans office at the Ohio State University and told them of my desire to want to come back and to finish my degree at Ohio State, and it was pretty remarkable that they uh, said, "Sure, we'd love to have you come back," and that was just so exciting. Pretty much, I found out I was pretty much still a student at the Ohio State University. I had a college ID I didn't know about. And, this is we're talking from 1988 to now. So that was actually pretty exciting. It wasn't an active. It wasn't an active ID, and it was something. There was a lot of steps to getting back to college. But I am back at Ohio State now, and I am going full time. It is a lot of work. Uh, I went headstrong into it. My advisors told me I could handle it. I'm not so sure about that now, but I think I'm doing well. I'm not doing perfect, but you know what? I'm okay with not being perfect. But I'm going to try to do the best I can while I'm there. I would say with all my transferred credits from my previous institutions, I'm like right on the line of between a sophomore and a junior. I would be a solid junior, but a lot of my credits from my early days was in music education, and there was only so many music education credits that could, transfer in to a curriculum at Ohio State to work towards a degree. So a lot of them did, but so I'm still trying to make up a little bit of that to probably finish off my sophomore year. My goal is to complete my schooling as far as getting my bachelor's in sociology in the year 2025. So that's only 4 semesters. However, I was planning to next summer, also taking classes then, so I could keep up that very aggressive schedule, especially since I'm changing majors from what I did so long ago. So I'm excited to be at Ohio State. This program is not about me being at Ohio State. I am a student at Ohio State, and which is one of the reasons you see the red and black behind me. I'm pretty proud to be there. But this is really going to be talking a lot about um, my life, and I have my interest in in studies of sociology is is the of course between the relationships of people and how they affect each other. But specifically, I am really curious about the human ego and how that, depending on our own life situations, how the human ego affects us in our relationships uh, on a day-to-day basis. And I think, in a lot of ways, the human ego is has a profound effect on the decisions we make, on the biases that we have. Um, on who we think we are as we compare ourselves to other people, the things that we learned as kids and the things we I constantly challenge myself on the things that I've learned. I've tried to, uh, especially at Ohio State, and there's lots of things I'm learning, especially going to college was, like 3 generations younger than me, but it's been a lot of fun. Um, but yeah, I'm hoping that I share. I'm going to try to be as open as I possibly can. My past has been um, fun. It's it's been interesting. It's been colorful, a lot, and a lot of things you would probably be surprised to hear me talk about. But I'm going to try to be open and honest about all that because I think a lot of that what I did in my life says a lot about my own ego. Uh, and I'll tell you a little bit about equality. So I think when it comes to my own ego, um, even now, as I'm here on this channel, on my channel, I have to think about. I question my own ego as to why I'm even here. Right? Is is my purpose to be here to make this all about me? Right? Or is it really to have a discussion openly about what I'm learning, about what applies to my own life, and get some thoughts from you because and I hope that if other people, uh, whether you're scholars, of sociology or not, challenge me. I'm completely open uh, to uh, what do I want to say? There's one of the moments where I can't think of it, but criticism. There we go. Criticism or feedback. I'm open to that. My feelings won't get hurt. I may at times listen. I may hear it, and I'll apply it, and it may make me question and sometimes I think when we question ourselves, we may go dead for a second. But I really want to take what I'm learning at Ohio State and not. Sorry about my desk; it's a little crazy. But I really want to take what I'm learning and not just learn about society. When I think about a lot of the people, the kids, I said kids, the other students, my uh, comrades, my class comrades who are 18, 19, 20 years old, um, they're just starting off in life. They don't have much to look back on their life to apply a lot of what they're going to be learning. They're looking at these theories and they're going to be thinking about how they're going to apply it in their future lives. Where I can weirdly take what I'm learning and say, well, that makes sense, or that may make sense. I'll try to apply it, the things that I'm learning, and I'll try to apply it in the best way I can. Um, and sometimes I may change my mind. I may, I may, I'm thinking off the cuff here. So I may think, hey, this theory that I'm learning, or this thing that I've learned, or this thing I've learned about myself, or I'm learning about society. Maybe initially I'll apply it one way, and I'll decide, nah, that was stupid. I'll apply it another way. But this is all about learning and where we go from here. So I'm excited. I am in a weird way. I hope you'll uh, look at what I'm doing as. I hope I want to keep this more about us learning together, about me sharing what I'm learning, and not about me um, and my ego. But I want you to, in a strange way, I also want you to understand my ego, because I think understanding my ego and let you know who I am as a person, because I have one, you know, and it has affected me a lot, and it's done. I think your human ego can do help you in life achieve greater happiness, or it can actually hold you back. And for example, I mean, and it's odd. We had a reading assignment yesterday in my intro to sociological theory class, where uh, what we were talking about a sociologist, or we were listening. I think it's a man, and I'll probably say his name wrong, but it's Emily, Emile Durkheim, and he had theories on suicide, and that was so. This is one of the things that we were learning. We had to do a reading assignment last night, and so uh, you know, one of the things he talked about was the night. Gosh, there's a word that I had to learn. I didn't even know what it was. It begins with an A, enemy or something like that. But and then the other one was egoism. And it's interesting that I had a hard time applying what Durkheim said about egoism and the other word to um, um, the thing of what I want to say, like egoism, right? He talked about egoism as in um, people being isolated or isolating themselves. Uh, and pulling themselves out of society. And personally, I think there can be a relationship in that ego of maybe why you do that. But with the definition of egoism, I'm having a hard time feeling how you can take what I would more consider um, loneliness, right? People that isolate themselves from society, isolate themselves from their friends, isolate themselves for whatever reason. They become alone, and I think he's right in the fact that I think a lot of people get the ideation of suicide when they feel alone. And then the other idea for Durkheim on the idea of suicide had to do with what I would call failure, or he didn't say failure, but he talked about not being able to achieve what you want to achieve, or having too high expectations and you not being able to meet them. So for that reason, you have ideations of suicide or maybe even follow through with it. So when I look at what he talked about as, not being able to meet your expectations or not being able to do the things you wanted to do, I looked at it more as people seeing themselves with personal failures. And I'll agree that people feeling looking at their own life as being failures, um, and people who feel alone and abandoned, and that those are two major contributing factors to suicide. So anyway, that's an idea of the things that I want to talk about as I learn and experience things in my classes. Some days I'll talk about what I'm learning there. Sometimes I'll probably just have discussions about the ego. And again, my main thought is on the human ego and understanding how it has effects. So um, I know this session right here, this episode is not too fun. It's kind of boring, I'm sure, but I'm just trying to set the stage up for where we're going from here. I'm sure, as I go along, and I get to meet some of you, and I hopefully I get some people that will follow along, be interested in some of the things that we talk about, and that I'll get to hear from you, and that we can have an open discussion because I'd really like that, and I'd love to be able to, as I go through college, to have this experience with you and to have this be a part of my experience with Ohio State University and working towards my degree in sociology. So I'm not going to keep us any longer. I'm not sure what we're going to talk about in my what I would say my first episode. This is probably an introductory episode. Right now, this is on my own personal channel that I've had for quite a long time, charleshampton.com, or my name Charles Hampton. But we may change that at some point. And then the name I've given to this show or what I'm doing is, it's temporarily, which I think I've called it the Sociology of Charlie. That's I needed to give it a title, and even that title right there is has some type of ego to it, right? To put my name in it. So I try to check myself, in everything I do. So I got a working title there, the Sociology of Charlie. We'll probably come up with something better. Maybe you can think of something better I can call this of whatever I'm doing here. So I hope we can have a conversation. I'm going to continue doing this, even if I'm talking to myself. I think this is good for me. I think it helps me to talk about the things I'm learning. It helps me for me to process a lot of what I'm learning against my own life. And I've even talked to my professors about that, that I'm excited to be able to learn things that I could apply to my own life and help me understand where I've came from. So anyway, that's it for today. We're out right about 18 minutes. I think I'm going to try to keep these things down to 20 minutes. I think that's plenty of time to get in. So I'm right in there at close to that 20-minute mark. So I don't know if anyone's ever going to watch this. So if you like this, if you want to save this, please give me a subscribe. I'd appreciate that. At least I'll know someone's out there. And if you want to make comments, feel free to. You can be criticizing. You can agree with me, not agree with me. I'm not going to take offense. We're all learning. And so again, thank you for being with me today. And I will see you the next time. Again, my name is Charlie Hampton. And I am excited to do this, and I hope you'll come along with me. Thanks a lot.